Good
Good
morning.
morning, good morning, good morning. Sorry, say again, Beena. Sorry, I talked over you.
I was
Sorry.
just saying that. Good morning, Robin. How are you?
I am doing well, thank you.
Good.
Excellent. Thank you.
You
Thank you.
sound very energetic today.
I'm sorry?
Yes, you sound very energetic today.
Oh, I get to go back to work today.
Ah,
Oh, what happened? That was
what
a
up?
quick
Well,
change.
I got a call from the Department of Health. They're doing the contact tracing, which, sorry, it's a bunch of baloney, but I know they got to do what they got to do because of the questions that they
Yeah,
asked.
they
They
have
wanted,
to. They have to. Yeah,
well,
yeah.
they wanted to know my sexual orientation, and they asked me it in 3 different ways. What does that have to do with contact tracing? But anyway, they said that I am out of quarantine on Thursday, which is tomorrow. And then Doc sent me a thing, and I know why he sent it to me, but he said, well, two reasons. One is he's fine with me coming back because I have no symptoms. But the other is that I know the one girl, she has to go to school tonight, which means that she can't be there. So you need somebody to be working the night shift.
Yeah, interesting. Interesting.
Oh yeah, it is
Good.
what it is. But you know what? I'm glad that, I realized that you need a purpose. So to
Yeah,
get up and
yeah.
moving. And so, yes, I am
There you
doing
go.
well.
There you go. There you go. Very good. Very good indeed. Very good. But I'm at least glad to see they're doing contact tracing, because that makes a big difference in the overall picture of things. All right, you got bureaucrats involved, and bureaucrats can ask silly questions, but nonetheless, at least it's better than them not doing it.
Well,
So,
that's just it. They pick and choose who they're calling because, this is going.
yeah, they don't have enough people. Yeah, yeah.
No, there was people that got it before and around Kathleen, and some of her friends didn't get a call at all. One got a call just about the vaccine. So they're just picking and choosing. But you know what? It is what
Yeah,
it
or,
is.
or they're
So
just incompetent. Yeah,
it is what it is. It's all good.
yeah. That's interesting. That's interesting that they do some and not others. I wonder why. Maybe it's they doing it by like closeness, it's like if you close family, okay, then they do it, so interesting, very
Who
interesting.
knows?
Yeah,
Who knows? It is what it is. It's all good.
bureaucracy, you got their own world,
Yeah, because she got
um,
told that if she hadn't answered the phone again, they were going to send her a nasty letter.
no, well, interesting.
Yeah, but whatever.
Yeah, yeah, well, at least something is better than nothing, I suppose. So and you can go back, which is also nice, so they clear you officially because
Well,
you
that's
you yeah.
right. So now I'm through them. They said I can go back. Doc said I can go back, and the girls are still like the one girl. She refuses to come in tonight because I'm coming in. So, but
I did you tell
whatever.
her that you've been cleared by
Oh
whoever?
yeah, he said, maybe when you see her, which I won't see her until next week. He goes, maybe you can, just let her know what they told you. And
Yeah.
I am choosing not to because it's just not worth it. I will be in on Monday. I will see her on Monday, and um, yeah, I just don't. I will tell her on Monday what all the rules and everything
Yeah,
were because I'm not
yeah,
going to see her, so I won't see her until Monday
yeah.
anyway.
So it's irrelevant. Yeah, exactly, exactly, exactly. Ah, very cool, very cool. Yeah, yeah. Good deal, good deal. Well, that's good that you cleared and they did it fairly quickly, and so it all works out good in the end. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Excellent, 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 excellent.
Um,
So the yeah, go.
know what to do, and
Ah,
I will
that's
admit
all
that
right.
I still had to, even though I was doing better, I still had to go through my little bit of a crappy mood.
Yeah,
And I did, spiral in and out and watch it and sit with it. But the one thing I did want to that I did want to bring up with both of you Oh, and here comes Sue, because I had talked to her a little bit about it yesterday
perfect,
too.
perfect, perfect. All right, so hold that thought right there. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Ooh, look how studious Sue's looking. Oh, somebody on the phone's in trouble, I think. That's my guess. Hello, Sue. I said somebody on the phone is in trouble. That's my guess. You were looking very
Yeah,
studious, looking at your phone
trying
there.
to send
Very
Jaslau a message.
Ah,
He finally, I gave him a testimonial, a written one, and I didn't hear a couple days now. And so he just made a voice text and said, "Oh, thank you so much, so much." And he said, "If you want, I can come on, for 10 minutes or so before my session starts." So
sure.
I have to leave today by quarter of for an appointment. So I told him if he wants to come at 10:30 my time, which would be 4:30
Perfect,
his time,
perfect, perfect.
I said, feel free to come on.
Yeah, perfect, perfect.
Good morning,
Brilliant.
Robin. Good morning,
morning.
Beena. Good morning, Phil.
Hello.
Mhm.
So I was just sharing that I could go back to work. Actually, I'm going back to work this evening.
Are you?
I am. So the Department of Health had called me on Monday afternoon,
Uh-huh.
with the contact tracing. And I was sharing too that me personally, I think it's a bunch of doo-doo in the fact of the questions that they asked, because they asked me what my sexual orientation was in 3 different ways. What I identify with, am I transgender, am I hetero? But, not, then it's, well, what are your symptoms? I don't have any symptoms, So it was just, why do you need to know that? And the girl was actually, I didn't share this with both of you. The whole time she's going, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I have to ask these questions. I'm sorry. And when I told her, and when I told a friend of mine about it, she goes, I was never taught that, because she went for the contact tracing, I guess, class or whatever. She goes, those weren't questions that we were supposed to ask back then.
Wow.
So it changes to the way as they see fit, but it is what it is. And the bottom line is, I can go back to work tomorrow. However, Doc is letting me go back tonight.
Oh,
But also I was sharing that the reason I'm probably going back tonight is because Tiffany has to go to school, which means that she can't work tonight. So they need somebody to work.
cool.
So
Good. See?
but also, as I had shared, it gives me a purpose to get up. So yes, I'm a little excited because it's really interesting to have that, to go. As much as sometimes we go, oh, I don't feel like going to work today. It is also very nice to have
Place to go.
a place to go. Yes.
Change of scenery.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. But then, we could do a whole thing on this, because now it brings up, why do I feel this way? Why does this happen all the time? It's really interesting how, as we share, we can get more out of everything.
Yeah. I just did.
Excellent.
Phil sent me the feeling we believe.
Yes.
That was
Uh-huh.
that was pretty intense. So I'm going to tell you, the wording in there is so tricky.
Yes.
You have to sit there. And in my brain, I had to break it down. Like I did a repeat back and a takeaway, but I had to then do an example. Which otherwise, it's, for me, it was just a bunch of words. Yeah, you feel what you believe, but your feelings are based on your beliefs. I'm like, what? And your brain starts like revolting in a sense. So
that's why I had to change it to an I.
Yeah. And
as soon as I changed it to an I, it was,
yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
I did. With my takeaway, it's I's, but when in my repeat back, it was like the we or they's. And then I converted it to myself, because the takeaway technically is, what's personal and meaningful for you. So it was a very, very cool. Never expected to sit down there for that long. Right. Whoa,
but that's the magic.
This is a trickster.
That's the magic. That sitting there that long, that immersion into it. You now become a wizard on this topic. Your brain sees it in all its complexity, in all its fullness, because as an idea, as an awareness, yes, it's potent, but so what?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like,
but when you really get into it, oh my goodness, this is ridiculously life-changing, profound.
It's
You
freaking
have to
ridiculous.
go past that step first, that first step. Yeah.
It's almost like when you talked about quotes, you know, like people hear a great quote and wow, it resonates with them at that moment for a second. If you don't take that quote any further or apply it, then it really becomes meaningless and you forget it and so forth. I'm not so sure I'm going to forget about feeling we believe and believe we feel, you know, for a long time, because it makes you, it forces you to do more with it. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Very exciting. Very exciting. Very exciting. Very exciting. So yeah, hopefully we're gonna go over that again later in your session. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or unless Robin is keen to do it again, we can go over it again. I just feel the emphasis would be really potent. So
Oh,
I'm
that's
quite happy to do it now.
no, that's fine with
Since
me
Robin
too.
didn't know what to do. But let's hear. We'll do it in a little bit now. Let's first get through all the things that you were thinking and doing about,
Yeah,
and
go
then
ahead.
we do
Yeah,
that.
Robin,
So,
start your stuff.
So I had talked to Sue yesterday because what I wanted to bring up to all of you, I've been sitting with this. I shared that I am actually thinking about doing something that I never thought I would do, or I always said, no way, I don't want to do this, and now I do. And that is because of this class. But I want to go back to massage school. I want to go back to massage school because I want to know more. I want to be able to do more. And in the end, I want to have the licensing behind my name so that when I am treating patients at the office, they can be billed to insurance. I can get paid my worth like the other ladies there. Hopefully, maybe even shift out of the office, more of the office role and more into the facilitator role. And the opportunity has arisen, and it just seems like doors are opening for it.
Excellent.
That being said, though, I also shared that with the hearing and helping, I believe this class is a lifelong class.
It is. It is.
And I am very, very much aware of that. So I can't let, I don't want, I not to let this go. But I'm not sure if I'm also ready for the, in the fact of, but I articles and I have to sit with them and work with them. I love that. That works for me. That keeps me accountable. It keeps me practicing. It keeps me what I need.
Mhm.
And so I'm not sure how to continue doing this going ahead, how it's appropriate, not only for myself, but for both of you as well, all of you as well, because it will be a financial commitment for me. And I also have a financial commitment for you as well. So I wanted to be able for all of us to come on so we can talk about this to see how maybe this might be different for me, how this may all just stay exactly the way it is and continue on, just adding on. So I wanted to share, and I have to say thank you, because it was actually when this really, I've been thinking about this. Kevin and I have been discussing this. He is extremely supportive of me doing this. I could not believe that I was ready to take this next step. And it was on Friday, believe it or not. It was on Friday after listening to Sher, and actually after, and then Sunday after doing the breath work with Joslar, where I was able to make the connections with all of this, that I said, yes, I have to take these next steps. I am ready for more. And not ready for more in a, the word that's coming in my mind is backseat, where I was always, no way am I ever going to do this. No way am I ever going to do that. It's now that I'm aware of more and understand the aware for more, I have this feeling of ready for more to put my intent into my next steps and to really organize it in a way that I've never done before. But I need to still be here, and I say need to be right here because this is the reason why I am where I'm at. So yes, so that is what I am sharing today. So there you have it.
Oh, fantastic. All right. So from my point of view, uh, in terms of doing hearing and helping, first on that, I'm just keen to do it with you and the story. Right? Because
Okay.
that's just a joy and a fun and a moreness. And I feel there's an appropriateness to it. I wouldn't do it if I didn't think it was either appropriate or valuable or exceedingly beneficial for you, and it will be. And in that regard, not only as a person, it will aid your personal development, but aid your ability to do whatever it is that you're going to do. It matters not what you're going to do, none of it. It will assist in all of it because hearing is really it's a spiritual affair. It's a spiritual philosophy. So so when you take it to the end result, of course, it's also exceedingly practical. And as Beena said today, um, what did you say about hearing, Beena?
Let me read that again because I was I was just making notes in my thing. That capital
Well, you said about generosity, right? You said
pledge
hearing is
is one of the most generous sharing gesture we can ever have. By hearing others,
that's
we
right.
allow them to not only use our senses for their expressions, but we allow them to enjoy and have our complete full attention.
Wow, wow, exactly. That's huge. That's huge. Put it into chat, please, Beena. That's huge. Right. So what I'm saying too is this hearing, when you have the skill, it explodes your options in whatever it is you want to do. Right, Sue?
Oh, it's it's huge. It's huge.
It
Yeah,
explodes your options.
yeah, it's nuts.
It enables you to do what otherwise you didn't even think you could
You
do,
could
but
do.
now you can do. Right.
Mhm.
So this is why it's huge. As in terms of the practicality, we can just continue as we do now, and that's all good. Don't worry. Just go as you can, and like you said, some point, who knows? Maybe we go till the end of the year, and we just whatever's remaining, then we take care of with the bonus again or something. Don't worry too much. I trust you to deal with it as appropriate. I'm not too concerned about that. I'll leave that in up to you as appropriate. And I said too when we started this, right? When we brought up doing hearing and helping, I said just do it where it's not going to be a particularly onerous stress on you.
Right.
Yeah, a little bit of pressure, cool, but not onerous, right?
Mhm.
So there you go. Do as appropriate. There you go.
Yeah,
How's
and
that?
I think your classes. Did you call health options as well yesterday by chance? Did you get to talk to them?
Not yet. And I don't know if that's the one where KT went to. I don't know, but I'd really personally I'd like to stick with
Mm-hmm.
where I'm going, and I shouldn't say only. I say that because again, the reasonings why I'm going
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
are just personal
Yeah.
with the
Sure.
licensing, with the having more,
Mm-hmm.
because
So,
I love what I do. I just want to expand more on it. And
Mm-hmm.
so I've never had somebody do so much for me like you are.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It'll make me cry too. It'll make me cry
Oh,
too.
we're gonna have a
believe,
cry fest this morning. So
believe in me, to believe me, and to find a class that I've been looking for all my life.
oh,
But this is just our recognition of that real Robin. That's real you. You know, it's just so magical and so precious. So yeah, it's truly, truly, truly a pleasure, Robin. Truly, truly a pleasure. It's a joy. It's a joy. It's a joy. Yeah, it's a joy. It's a joy.
And Sue, you had given me that gift last year to start me on my path,
Yes.
and it has changed me ever since.
It,
tears of joy. I'm really am happy for you,
exactly.
honey.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly. And
you
and the
know how I
magic of
feel
it.
about you. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
And the magic of it is the reason it happens is because we hear you, Robin. We hear you. You see what I mean? Hearing is a spiritual thing. It's a magical, beautiful thing. It's that generosity that Beena is talking about. It's very precious, and it's your deep heartness too. That caring, that intent to goodness. But now it's the mechanism to be able to express and enact that appropriately.
Correct.
Otherwise, we are a bit limited and we struggle and we butt heads and we don't get fluid and we maybe not get so efficient and we cause trouble sometimes even. But now we have the skills, we have the abilities to really put it into action and to enable others. I don't really do it. It's all you. All I do is just hear you. That's all I'm doing. I'm just hearing you, not hearing what you are saying. I'm hearing you. And it's magical. Thank you, Robert. Thank you. Thank you for the appreciation. It's a big deal for me.
Mhm.
It's a big deal.
So I don't believe Sil her classes start. They is April, correct? And their evening classes.
Yes.
It's intense. I mean, it's a big program. There's a lot of really doing. You sit in that class and then you have to do it so that you learn it. So she has a lot of bodies there at home that she will be able to work on. Kevin's already on the table waiting. So there is a at the fun. So my question is, first of all, to Robin, what is it that you think you could do if there's no stress for twice a week, 2 hours at a time, getting it done type of thing. And then also for Sil, what is the minimum that you think that would be effective for her? We know the power of twice a week, 2 hours a week,
Yeah.
2 hours at a time.
Yeah.
But, first, Robin, what can you do? And Sil, what do you think from a time perspective and what goes into it?
The twice a week is so potent. I'd be very reluctant to come off that unless we absolutely had to. But then once a week, or maybe once every other week, once, something like that, But as close as we can to doing twice a week, that would be ideal.
Would I be able to do Mondays and Fridays?
Absolutely, 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 no problem. Absolutely,
What
no
time
problem.
Mondays and Fridays?
Monday, I could still do the same.
Okay.
Monday is
Right,
absolutely the same. It would just be Friday, but I know you have a lot of people on
right.
Fridays and things on
So,
Friday,
so
so
yeah. So, I have to check with Jocelyn, and we can maybe move him a little later in that. Just move him 2 hours later, and you fall into that slot. In other words,
What do you
the
mean?
that would be 5 to 7, 7 to 9, so 9 to 11 slot on Fridays.
For Robin, 9 to
For
11.
Robert, yeah, correct. That's currently where Jocelyn is in, because Donna is before that. So I can even maybe speak to Donna and have Donna go where Jocelyn is. Jocelyn goes later, And so I'll let me talk to them and see.
Yeah,
But
and
yeah, Fridays be no problem. Sure.
yeah,
And
and you
here's the
also
reason.
have the option still of Jaslao going in her 7 to 9 because he wants earlier anyway on
Yes.
Wednesdays.
Right,
Because she
right,
won't be there on
exactly,
Wednesday.
exactly. And
So
then
he does Monday and Wednesday. So
Right,
he would have a
right,
later one
right,
unless he switched
right.
to
And
5.
the Friday is for the qigong, not his personal.
Correct.
Right. So to go earlier is not a good option because others join as well, and not everybody can come earlier. So him going later is better because it's a group thing. So,
On Friday. On Friday.
Yeah, because Friday is for the qigong, for the BAM stuff. So yeah, I'll sort it out. No worries.
And I just want to share why with the Wednesdays.
Yeah.
I feel that sometimes for me, it's too close on Wednesdays.
That's what I felt too for you. I absolutely felt that too. So there is another option. If not Friday, we can do Thursday.
I could do Thursday from 7 to 9 because I would be working the morning shift. So I could definitely do 7 to 9 on Thursdays.
And that would be perfect because 7 to 9 we have open on Thursdays.
Okay.
Yeah.
That actually feels.
We do?
Yeah, because we've got
Thursday. That's Janelle.
Right,
and
which
Ryan.
is 5 to 7. Right.
No. You're talking your time, not our time.
Right, but are you talking your time or our time? 7 to 9.
Our time.
Robin?
What? Well, my time, but
let's just keep it in your time then.
But
Okay.
Here's the thing: if I don't have a problem if I needed if I mean I know it would be up to Sue, but I wouldn't have a problem doing 5 to 7 on a Thursday either.
Mm-hmm.
I would be okay. Then actually that gives me time to have my coffee, get ready, maybe even start a new routine of doing some yoga. So I mean, I'm okay with 5 to 7 my time or 7 to 9 my time.
Okay.
Yeah. So 5 to 7 your time. That would be kind of cool for us because that's even earlier then. That's before.
Right.
So yeah. So that would be. What's that, Beena?
I was just saying that it will be good for us to have it early.
Yeah. All right, let's do that then. So 5 to 7. Okay. Let me get my calendar up here and adjust this.
And that would be.
Okay, I'll pull up my calendar in a second here, and then I'll screen share it. We can all see it.
I have to also share that makes me feel so much better. As I said, the Wednesday just always felt a little.
It did. It was a little bitty close. Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I felt that for you also, and it was something actually I thought to okay. Up in a sec. Okay. Let me screen share. Get you all set up. Okay. So first we're going to Thursday, and you comes on that one. All right. This time shift, it messed up a lot of stuff in my calendar, but all right, never mind. I'll make it work. So
yeah, so Robin would be not 4 to 6, it would be 5 to 7.
Right, which is 3 to 5 our time.
3 to 5. 3 to 5 your time.
Our time. Right.
Gotcha.
Robin hearing and helping. Very cool. Now, Robin, you just check for me, please, that you have access to the program. I do believe you have, but the site that it's on, they a little fiddly, or at least something's wrong there, and so I'm waiting on support. But if if you don't have access through your login, just use my Sil Sebastian login and get access that way.
What would
But
it
just check.
look?
I do believe I gave you access, but like I said, I can't go and check right now. I don't have access to admin. I only have access as a user, which is a bit of annoyance. But now,
Would it be the same login that I have?
correct, exactly the same login. You just at the top there, instead of choosing Wave Impeccability from the drop-down box, you choose Hearing and Helping. Yeah. Okay. So then I can just leave Fridays the same. That's perfect. So everything is good. And I have that open Friday, still 2 hours for that. So, all right, perfect, perfect. Everything looks out good.
I'm just checking.
Then, so
going
Robin,
on.
are you okay then for a couple months before your classes start to do a month, twice a week for the 2 hour?
Oh yeah, this would, I don't, and here's the thing, I won't have school on Wednesdays or Fridays. So Wednesdays would be my day to get things done.
Gotcha.
And I might be working at night, I'm not sure yet. But it was, the Wednesday has been it has just fell too close for a
Yeah, 'cause
while now,
Wednesday, you
as
have
far as
Thursday,
getting,
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You have 4 days. Yeah.
yep, and to have that extra day, because Mondays, what was happening for me is we would get off, I'd go to work, and I'd be working all day, so nothing would get done on a Monday. Then Tuesday would come, and sometimes I can get stuff done, sometimes I couldn't. So then I felt that, wow, this is really, again, this is why this is so beautiful, that
Brilliant, 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 brilliant.
that I wasn't doing the best that I can do for me. Also feeling as if I was think about that, letting you down, even though I know that that's not the appropriate way. But so that when I would come on Wednesdays, I did not feel as if I was giving what I would be giving from Wednesday to Monday.
Right.
So
Perfect, perfect.
Sil, so do I go into menu?
Yeah. Let's see. Just screen share and we'll see. It's right on the top right hand corner there. I can't remember exactly just offhand.
Because
But it's a little drop down box.
I just have Way of Impeccability coming up for myself.
Yeah. At the bottom of your Zoom, there's a green button that says screen share screen. Hit that. Are you yeah.
And now hit
Yeah,
share.
so we can see.
Share.
And
then
then
we
share.
can.
Oh, so all right, now talk with this. See, this is okay. Now
That's it.
all right,
That's
now
all there is to it. Yeah.
Oh my
So
gosh.
now click on your computer, click on the login screen so that we see that.
Which would be here, right?
Yeah, correct. The link. There you go. And well, log in first. Yeah. Okay. And there where it says, scroll up a bit. Scroll up a bit. Other way. I mean. Count. Yeah. To click on account. Let's see.
How do I move you guys to the other side?
It's all right. Yeah, you just drag us. You just drag us. Yeah.
See, but look at, I don't know how to do this. Do you see how excited I am just to learn this?
Yeah, I love it.
And
It's
not be
simple.
afraid of this?
All right. Hang on. Go up again. Go up again. Click on account, and what comes up there when you click on account?
Doesn't look like anything.
Nothing.
Nothing happens.
Oh, all right. Then see, scroll under this. Oh, yeah, this is different for when I log in. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't see this at all. What she's saying.
Oh, here, look at.
Yeah, try there. My subscription. Yeah, let's see. My orders. But
Okay, I'm holding it, guys.
you're on a different. Let me give you a different link. I think this is on the. Yeah, well, that's interesting. Okay, let me give you a different link. I'll put it in I'll put it in Messenger for you. Then you have it there too, and you can just copy it into your
Okay.
a different place to log in. Because yeah, I'm surprised that you're there. All right,
All right.
that'll work.
Now, how do I get back?
But just hit escape or just hit end screen share. But yeah, either
Okay.
way. So
Oh,
okay, let's get Robin pulled up. Yeah, there we go. All right. I have two ways that you can enter. You end up with the same thing. But
okay, got it.
everybody uses the other one, so I just was figuring that you're using that one too. Um, and that's where I added you to the hearing and helping. So,
Okay, I got it in my messenger.
right. So just click on that, and then you'll have a different welcome screen, not to that huge big picture. I don't know why it came so big, but
Yeah.
well, it's different. Let's leave it. So yeah.
Well, this is that computer that I only use for Zoom.
Oh.
Yeah. That's fine. I mean, you have that link, and you can, copy that link or just maybe reply to that email, and then, send that link to yourself so that you have it in that same place, which is handy. Yeah. All right. So now that you're there, maybe screen share again, and then we go through it again.
Well, how I have Messenger on my phone. I don't have Messenger on my computer.
Oh! Just open up Facebook, and then
Oh,
you'll see it,
all right,
and
all
you
right,
go to your notifications. Notifications in Facebook is Messenger.
all right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Or you can just type Facebook in the top address bar there. Yeah. There we go. Facebook. Control Enter. Oh, okay. There you go. Oh,
hmm. I'm trying to remember what my.
slowly.
Um, is this?
Oh. All right. I tell you what. I can check it for you.
Yeah, I don't know what my password
Yeah.
is.
I mean, where do you normally access the programs on your phone?
No, I accessed it because you had sent it to me in an email. I usually access the program.
Inefficient.
That's all right. It didn't come through on my computer yet, so but I got it in my phone.
Yeah. Well, I'll send it underneath that one. You reply to the same one, so there's the same. But anyway, I'm at least pleased you have that other link. The first link I sent you actually is if anybody wants information on the program, that's the link for the website. Where it gives all the information. The two are right next to each other. That's why I copied the one there. So it's good that you have it actually. But the second email will have the link to the platform. Yeah, you probably have to refresh your page to have it show.
Oh, you want to know why? Because also I bet you it's in here. There it is. So this one.
The second link, the one that says Invento, or no, it says a new university.site.in.
Yep. All right, so it's my email.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll go to memberships, and you'll
Right,
see capital H, sharing and helping.
Right.
Capital H, sharing and helping.
You seeing it there?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Scroll down.
Over here.
Yeah, and you can see, yeah, the first one with the woman on the left, that's module 1. Yep. So click on it just to make sure you can get in.
Yeah. And also, you check that you have actual access.
Yeah.
So click on the introduction course taken you now. There you go. It shouldn't. This one never had time gating on it, so there should be no problem at all. But you see, it does say, and this is the thing.
Is locked.
Yeah. So just log in as Sil and Olivia, same password, and then it will be open for you. Yeah, this is the problem I'm having.
Go to log out, and then sign in with Sil's stuff. Log out.
Yeah.
There. Now, instead of Painter Family.
Yeah. So it's Sil and Olivia. Yeah. Sil and Olivia. ELEVIL. ELE. ELV. There you go. IA. Yeah, at nobelia.org. Nobelia.org. Yeah, there we go. Let's log in.
And isn't the password different? Isn't it Sedona? No, that's for the other one. Sorry.
No, that's for slides. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So now go to there you go. Right. You see all the courses now. And same thing, click on that picture. It's actually a guy, I think, Sue, but anyway, it could be a woman. I don't know.
Whoops. Sorry.
No, I don't care. I'm just curious. So there you go. Okay. So, until I get that sorted out, what I have to do for whatever weird reason, I have to completely remove your account and put it back in, which is annoying. But I don't have admin access. I've been fighting with them for almost 2 weeks now. So, anyhow. So, all right. Well, now at least you have access. So
if you can imagine still fighting with someone.
Oh, not really. I'm just, no, I know. I'm not really fighting.
Coming from his mouth.
Yeah. Well, it's just like I explained the program. Oh, you got to subscribe. Dude, I sent you a screenshot of where your billing shows me paid up until next month. It's like, how come you don't read the emails I'm sending you? You know, but I said it nicely.
See, this is what we were talking about on Monday about the computer, like what you can see. Yes, I understand.
It's just amazing. But anyway, the last thing they said, oh, I'm getting with the tech guys, because then I sent them a screenshot of the payment, and say, yeah, just have to be patient, just go slow, but it's one thing a day. That's one email a day. That's all progress it goes. They don't get back to you right away. I said, you can come on Zoom and I'll do, screen share and you can see what happens. That got their attention. No, but they're on a different time zone too. Anyway, so here you go. So enjoy. And, this is.
So is this going to be the same way as
similar
as way of impeccability with repeat backs and takeaways?
Yep.
Exactly. The only difference here is the tasks and exercises are they're much more intense. So you're gonna do like a couple slides, sometimes 3, 4 only, and then they tasks and exercises, and then a couple more and tasks and exercises. So because the modules, they are sessions, but the modules have basically like, well, in the first one, session 1, which is the hearing one, there's actually the equivalent of probably 20 or 30 sessions in there, something like that.
Yeah.
So it's very intense. It's very intense. But it just goes slowly. That's all. But yes, repeat backs, takeaways, same procedure, and your dictionary of power. Absolutely, absolutely. Keep your dictionary of power up to date because it's all the same. We're going to use the same things. Obviously, we're going to add, like, of course, you're going to add, capital H hearing. So yeah, or to be
Yeah,
a
just
choice
make another
facilitator.
file. Just make another file, capital H hearing and helping, or HAH,
Yeah.
or however you want to
It's
use it.
interesting because through all of this, now that Patrick is gone, we've actually, he doesn't have a bed in his room anymore. We actually got this, it's like a chase lounge. So it's
Oh,
almost
yeah.
the size of a twin bed.
Yeah.
But that's where Kelly's been hanging out at the moment. But we have the desk in there, his desk's still in there. So it's almost as if it's going to become an
Like an
office.
office. Nice.
So it's just interesting how everything is starting to flow
Yeah.
towards.
Excellent.
Yeah. And you might be able to put eventually down the road, put your massage table in there.
Yes, eventually, yes. But,
yeah.
You might see me one day with a different background because I will finally have myself together and
That's okay.
be sitting up there being more studious
At
and
5
official.
a.m., I'm going to promise you I will not be dressed and showered. I'm just putting that one out there right now.
That's all right. We very much enjoy seeing Wild Sue. So love it. We love it. We love Wild Sue. Yeah. We love Wild Sue. We love Wild Sue. So brilliant. That's good. That's good.
It's funny.
That's really cool. Other thing is, let's see. Just end the screen share so we can see you a little easier. Yeah. But yeah, and you just keep going in the same way. It's the same thing, except you'll see the tasks and exercises are on a different level on this. So yeah.
If he
the other thing I wanted.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Sue.
I said if he waited and put all these tasks that are intense at the end, you would lose your mind.
You'd have 100 tasks.
So it's kind of cool because it talks about a specific situation or topics, and then you do your tasks as they relate to those. Then you move on, which it's a different way of doing it instead of waiting pretty much for all the tasks to be at the end. But it's so intense that you almost have to break it up. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Also, I would have liked to do this in way of impeccability, but when I set it up originally, I didn't have any testing, so I didn't know, and I was just a bit cautious about putting people off with too many tasks, making it stressful and onerous for people. But in the Mourners project, hey, we know that you are keen and you that learning is important to you. You want to, and that you know how to do it, so it's not too much all at once. So that's why it's different in the Mourners project. So yeah, it's very cool, very cool. Yeah, bonus. It's extra. It's extraness because the tasks and exercises, they aren't tests. They never ever test. They have nothing to do with testing. We couldn't get two hoots about testing because first of all, I couldn't possibly set up the tests the way the universe brings them to you. Right?
Yes, for sure.
It's like that. So you create your own, through your intensity and through that earnest intent that you have to learn and grow. The universe provides, and it's so. But the tasks are they mechanisms for you to self-prove. That's what they're all about. They're just application opportunities. That's all they are. They're opportunities for you to demonstrate and check yourself and reaffirm yourself and explore and say, and it just helps. It just helps. There's a very particular psychology to the tasks and exercise. And that's what they are. They're more exercises than tasks, really. They're fun. They're fun stuff. All different stuff. Yeah. And it's just opportunities to interact and do. Like you'll see, there are a lot of things as find somebody, find a client, find a friend that you can talk to and practice this and test this and ask them this and stuff like that. So it's fun stuff. Very fun. Yeah. So
you'll need a lot of bodies to practice this on. So
yeah, which is great. And you have that opportunity
have
to interact with people.
Family, at work. It's pretty interesting.
Fun. Yeah. And your children, they're going to be your guinea pigs now. That's it.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
Sil, are you going to allow her to come on anybody else's session to listen in for hearing and helping, like I
Sure,
did?
sure.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
So
Oh, absolutely.
that's
Absolutely. You're
another
always welcome.
bonus. You don't, what I did was, no video. Just put your stop the video, put yourself on mute, and you listen.
Yeah, keep your mouth shut, darling.
You can't talk. They can't see you. And it really is, because there's a lot of distractions when you are face to face with somebody. So for me, wow, I kind of, it was really good to be able to come on other people's sessions and just listen in. And so would say,
And
Sue's
take
just here
notes
for
too,
hearing.
and exactly.
Yeah, it was.
Sorry, Sue. Sorry.
No, that's okay. But I mean,
Yeah.
there you would have a whole different mechanism of hearing because of the way everybody talks
Oh,
on here.
oh, yeah. And plus, you get the bonus of the
intense.
content of the sessions too. And you
Exactly.
get to, when you're coming in and you hearing, you're not just hearing the client, or in this case, the participant, right? You're not just hearing them, because that's the exercise. You hearing how they communicate, how they share, but you're also hearing me. You're also hearing Beena, and you are looking at us from a different perspective also. And
Right.
that's it's a whole other ball of wax. When you coming at it from a third party angle. So now you get the bonus of seeing us from that abstract point of view, plus the content, which it's content that you've also done for the most part, or not done. Either way, it doesn't matter. That's just extra bonus on top. So yeah, it's very, very valuable. So yeah, whenever you can, you're absolutely welcome to come to any of them. So yeah.
That's very interesting you say that, because I remember listening in on Sure on Friday.
Yeah.
And I was more aware of words that she would use, inflection.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And that was part of this aha for me, going, wow, wow, because I heard so much more. And then when you were with Josh, it was really amazing for me too, because I was getting so much from him, but then when you were making the connections because of what you heard, I got even more understanding out of it. And in the end, my takeaway of all that would be is not only the moreness for me, but that I would say capital U understanding. I understood even more to know why and how for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Exactly.
So that was a really, and that's really where this, and also I am beginning to understand me, that when I start to get into these crappy immersion bubbles, it's not that I'm actually getting into crappy immersion bubbles, it's that something is shifting.
Mm-hmm.
I am beginning to, where before, yes, I was stuck in them. But now I'm aware, because of the tools that I have, that they are emerging because something is shifting in me. It's almost it's time for me to pause,
Exactly.
to see what's going on. Something's shifting, something's going on, and it is my cue to pause. I don't necessarily get out of it as quick as I'd like at times, but obviously I'm not getting into them like I used to. But when I am getting into them, something is shifting within me,
Yeah.
and I am aware of that. So
Exactly. 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 So it's a whole big shift. And one of the key, absolute key shifts is the shift to make hearing your default.
because I'm also hearing myself, right? I mean, it's not only hearing others, it's
Exactly.
also hearing.
Exactly. 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 But also, we shift out of that automatic wanting to say stuff and thinking about what we're going to say next. and preparing for what we're going to say next or do next, thinking what others may think about what we're going to say or do, etc., etc., etc. We just go onto this almost a default power pause, but almost like a permanent power pause. And this is absolutely critical, that your hearing is your default. That's your first instinct, to go to hearing. That's what that whole first session, at least the whole first module, is all about, really. Hearing and making space. Those are the two key core components there. And we go into super detailed nuance on all of it, because there's a lot to it. It's not a simple thing. It is simple, but it's also complex. It's fantastic. But to have that as your default, that automatically you look into here. You look into here. You kind of get into Beena mode.
Yeah.
Beena's such a genius at it. It's
Mhm.
amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
Mm.
here's the interesting part that scares me. I will be honest. Or
Good,
maybe not
good,
scares me or makes me
good, good.
uncomfortable is
Ah,
um, I understand the hearing, the not wanting to say something. 100% I get that. But now we go to the next step. When you come in, because I will admit that this freaks me out a lot, is when you go, so Robin or Sue, like when you go, what do you think? And I'm going, and
all
now
right.
you're put
So
on
I
the
got.
spot. So that
All right.
actually freaks me out because
too
I'm
much.
going,
All right. So this is an opportunity for me to pull out my cheerleader routine and say, give me a T, give me a R, give me a U, give me a S, give me a T. Okay. Who do we trust? Robin. Who do we trust? Robin. Right? That's it. Trust, 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 trust,
Yeah,
trust,
I'm
trust.
laughing so hard,
And
Robert, because that's how I felt in the beginning, and I would bet my life savings on that. I said the same thing to Sil at one point. I go, "This shit
yep,
freaks
yep,
me
yep,
out."
yep,
Yeah,
absolutely,
but
absolutely, absolutely. But
you get
please
over it.
don't.
You
Oh,
get over it
oh, yeah,
because hearing
oh,
and helping lets you understand that lots of times there is no reason sometimes to even comment, or you can say, I need to think about this a little bit,
ah,
without
ah,
having that fear of like, oh my God, they're waiting for some
exactly,
profound thing that like comes out of Beena's
exactly,
mouth all the time.
exactly, exactly. But
It'll
here's the
come.
thing,
It'll come.
right? But when I ask Sue or Beena, like, hey, what do you think? And I really kind of ask it, especially when I'm really earnest, when I really, really want to know, neither would at that moment necessarily has a thought or an idea in their head.
Mhm.
Nothing. But the moment I ask it, their first reaction is not to panic and say, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know, and get stuck. And then, of course, they don't know. Their first reaction is just to pause and just to
Mhm.
hear
Yeah.
in that silence and just wait. And it comes, and there you go.
It
That's
teaches
it.
you to take that panic out of it, that you've got
Oh,
to
yeah.
say it right or
Yeah.
perfect or
Right. Right.
profoundly or whatever. No,
Exactly.
when you hear Donna a lot going, give me a minute type of a
Yeah.
thing,
Yeah. I can
and
do
she
better. I can do better.
collects,
She always says,
I
I
can
love
do
it.
better. That's what it is. She collects her thoughts quickly.
Yeah.
And for us, it sounds like, or it feels like you're pausing for 5 minutes and they're probably going, well, is she ever going to speak? But it's really only probably nanoseconds as the brain is gearing itself up
Exactly.
there. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's mentioned in the program. There's a time perception
Yeah.
between what goes on inside you and outside. But yeah, now if you really listen to Beena, right, and if you were probably to watch her if she was on video, when I ask a question like that and it takes her a bit by surprise, then she wasn't thinking about it, or it wasn't part of like something that she had a ready answer. In that space, you'll see all that Beena does is simply open to the connection to the universe and just make space for it to come. So then she is practicing capital H, hearing the universe and making space for input to come from outside of herself.
Yeah.
And then she gets a download and she just says that. That's it. It's very simple as that. And we
It,
all
it,
have the skill. We
yeah.
just
It's
have to
learning to
open it.
be patient and trusting in that. But patience, remember, is without that stress attached to it. And
Exactly. And
it'll
learning to
come. It'll come. But I'm just giggling till the cows come home here. It's the exact same
exactly,
thing that
exactly.
we You know,
Exactly.
that mutual birthday date is not by accident.
Yeah, exactly. So it's learning to learning to be, be. It's very simple. That's the magic. That's why when your default is hearing, you're not thinking of those usual thoughts. That's it. Hearing is switching off all that stuff and just letting it come. Same thing with answers. They come. With responses, they come. Appropriateness comes. We learn to trust our ability to respond, not to react, to respond. And it's not about calculation or thinking or knowing or knowledge. No. Keep in mind, right? If you look right there at the beginning on that first slide, this is about being able to assist or coach or do, but it's about hearing without content, that you can be of service without having any wisdom yourself,
Mhm.
without having any content, simply through it coming your way. This is one way of helping. You're not putting stuff out to help somebody, just you letting stuff come from them to you. This is all. And that profound, sublime, noble act of generosity that Beena talked about. This helps people. You don't have to do anything except hear, except make space, pay attention, give your interest. That's it. It's a one-way deal, as it were. No content, no wisdom from you, no advice from you, no telling, none of that stuff. And you help them way more than you would ever be able to otherwise.
So, what about when you do have those moments, or I shouldn't say you, but I mean, I know for me,
Hmm.
I have those moments of clarity where it's just intuition,
Yeah,
as you said, listening to the universe, you
yeah,
speak it, and we've talked about this in
yeah,
some of the
yeah.
modules where I go, wow, where did that come from? But I have no clue,
Yeah,
but I have no clue what I just said. I don't remember
yes,
any, and I do
yes.
understand that I don't need to, but if they were to say to me, what did you just say? Can you repeat that back? And it's, I don't know, because I don't know where that came from.
Yeah,
I
it's
just
all taken
trusted
care
it.
of. Right. It's all taken care of. And as we get to the later sessions and modules, that's very particularly addressed. So don't worry about it. It's taken care of. First, we want that default in place of the hearing as the default of the making space. Then that stuff, you'll see, you'll know automatically what to do. It will be appropriate. First, the hearing though.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's why it's long. Those modules are very long.
Yeah.
Just the hearing module alone is a long course in itself. It's like, I don't know, 90 pages or something, but they're way more intense. So, that's a whole program right on its own there too, a long, intensive program. So this is a big deal. It's a very, very big deal. It's just one concept, but there's a tremendous amount to this one concept. It's very cool. It's very cool. I love it. I love it. The whole, for me, everything that I do is based on capital H sharing. It sounds like I'm sharing a lot of perspective, but not really. All I do is because I'm really, really practiced at capital H hearing. You pull stuff from me all the time. It's always pertinent and relevant to you
Mhm. Yeah.
or whoever the current focus is.
Yeah. And
So I
there's
don't come in with any pre-planned agenda, or I don't have stuff on my mind and say, oh, I've got to say this to Robin. No, it's
Mhm.
always pertinent and relevant to you as appropriate. You pull it from me because I'm really tuned into you. I'm hearing you, hearing you.
Yeah. And that's the nuanced part of it. Once you get that hearing only in place, what you might come in, you'll know whether or not it's even necessary to say it because of the
Exactly,
nuanced about it, because of
exactly,
pertinence and relevance.
exactly,
Because
exactly.
let's face it, we all could all have something to say about anything at any given time.
Ah,
But
exactly,
it's teaching
exactly.
you to know when it is the appropriate time to say it, because sometimes it isn't. There's lots of times I'll have a question written down, and instead of like, oh, teacher, it's my turn, I have something to say, I wait, and sometimes it's either answered or it comes up or it just doesn't apply anymore, and I don't say it, and that's okay. So there's a lot of really cool stuff that happens in hearing and helping. Um,
Yeah, that actually will help with the Samato work too.
sure, sure, sure,
Yeah,
yeah.
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 Talking about that, so I did have a query and an inquiry, just a curiosity in terms of the massage and COVID. Now I know you're only starting in April, but I would imagine that there's still going to be some time before social distancing, all that stuff.
Now,
Is,
massage thing is all open. It's all open. You just have to be masked up.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
No, it's
Well, that's
that's
good.
been
Yeah,
it's been
the
open. Yeah. We were the
All right.
last to
Okay.
get opened because I fall under
Oh,
massage as well,
yeah.
but it's completely open. Completely. But they have to sanitize in between each one. I mean, it's a big ordeal, and the client has to be masked the entire time unless they're face down on the face rest.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
they flip over, they need to have a mask, and the
Gotcha.
therapist has to
Gotcha.
wear a mask.
Gotcha. All right. As long as that it's not not viable and not a viable business anymore. That's all I was thinking of. So all right, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Or less so. That's compromised, but very cool. And were there other options you were thinking of beside massage? I'm just curious. This perspective shifting. Just asking.
no, believe it or
Oh,
not,
brilliant.
no, and it comes from getting more anatomy, physiology. Plus, you touch
Wow.
upon, at least here, you touch upon other, even though I'm aware of them. And what I mean by that is like Sue with the reflexology, um, with stones, with uh, oils. Even though I'm aware of them, I'm just going to have more understanding of why and how. And again, all of this is more so because I will continue to follow the cranial path because that's what
Mm,
resonates with me.
Mhm.
mm, mm.
And also, I've noticed that whenever I take my cranial classes, darn near everybody in there is a massage therapist,
Mhm.
Interesting.
including the
Interesting.
instructors.
Mm,
And so, this is really, I am glad that I have waited on all of this
mm,
Mhm.
mm, mm.
Because you're
because
ready.
I really don't feel that I would be as respectful of this next step that I'm taking as
Mm.
I am right now, of why I want to do this. It is extremely personal.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, and I am absolutely shocked that this is the path that I'd like to start next. And I shouldn't
Ah,
say start, that I'd like to look into next, because
yes.
the
Yes.
one thing that if
Nice.
I will never say never anymore. If it's one thing I'm learning
Mm.
from this class is I will never say never. And I have said that before,
Excellent. Excellent.
but
Excellent.
now I know why not to say that.
Excellent. Excellent. So you see what you triggered in my hearing. Why I asked about was exploring about massage if this is what the only option. I heard somewhere something, and you say you're exploring doing massage, not I'm going to be doing it. Okay, it's a very different thing, right?
Mhm.
Very interesting.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
And then
showing the power of hearing. You never said that, but something somewhere in what you said triggered it in me, which is why I wanted to know if there were other options you were considering or not. But then you also said, "Oh, this is coming up for me, and it's got like some pressure to it." That's why I said, "Oh, great." So hey, if that's the passion, follow the passion. It's fantastic. But also explore, of course.
yeah.
Yeah,
And Robin, the hearing and helping will be a tremendous benefit for you for SER work, the somato
yeah,
work,
yeah,
because you're forced to listen to them and not judge that. And it's like the ultimate in repeat backs when you
yeah,
do somato, because you can, if somebody says they're inside of them, they see a wagon, you can't say, oh, is there a little red wagon? They didn't freaking say little, nor did they say red. Just because you might
right,
think.
right.
So it's really an exercise, the somato of
Yeah,
capital H hearing
yeah.
and capital R repeat
Yes,
backs. Big
yes.
time,
It's
big
very,
time.
very, very powerful for that. Yeah, and that
Yeah.
discernment, and then it's life detective too, because so many of the detectives when they question the suspects, they give the whole game away through their questions.
Right.
The
Right.
suspect, if the suspect has any sense, they can hear exactly where the detective's going. So you have to ask questions which are very neutral and not, not cueing in any way whatsoever. And for the sacral work, it's sacral. Geez,
Cranial sacral.
Craniosacral.
I'm getting into a mucking fuddle with spoonerisms over here. Sorry, but anyway, the cranial sacral. This is absolutely key. To have that pure neutrality where you do not cue anything at all.
Right.
And then that's from hearing. You get that. It's very cool.
Right. And that's why he's right. That's why also we were trained to just ask, what are you feeling? What is coming up? Say, instead of saying, does that make you feel sad? Does that make you angry? No.
Exactly. And you can really take somebody down into an immersion hole where they end up being all totally sad and they never started to be sad. Just cueing. To understand power of cueing is absolutely incredible. And this is our key. We want to hear them, not want to hear our idea of them.
Yeah. And then
that's why hearing has got to be the default. Sorry, Sue. This is why hearing has to be that absolute key, solid default. There's not even a thought of anything else. Not even a thought. Nothing. You have no agenda, no intent, nothing except to hear what comes at you. And of course, all the details, you hear beyond, you hear more, you hear what's not said, all the stuff, right? But that's it. So you take yourself right out of, and that is an incredibly potent skill. It's unbelievable. And the just the magic that comes at you, it's like, oh my God, suddenly you're in this world where just magic comes at you. Magic. You just see so much more. It's unbelievable. It's enriching, in other words. Right?
Yeah. And the beauty behind all of that is the fact that without you speaking, you literally hear them processing and connecting the dots. And the real joy for me is when they go, oh my God, I see the connection. They're finding their resolutions, their connections, and we barely say a word. It's just appropriate cueing that doesn't, again, send them down the rabbit hole. It's just to make them think. The cueing is to make them think and get inside themselves deeper. So you'll love it. It will talk about honing in skills, and too, even on massage. I'm sure the girls at work have told you it happens. People just blather on for that hour or 50-minute massage there. And when you just be silent, as appropriate, I mean, there's times that you have to talk. You hear all those implications and what they're really saying without the words coming out of their mouth. And that's when you really get to understand, them and motivates them and so forth. Yeah. It's pretty, this is like, it's like a graduate course. It is. It's like calls it the Mornis or a master class type of a thing.
Mornis project. Yeah. Here's the thing with massage. Yeah. With massage, when you do massage and you associate and capital H, hearing is just who you are. You become a de facto therapist without even doing anything at all. Just your vibe. You don't even have to say a single word. Just your vibe, your tone, your mood, your receptivity, just that innate cueing that you do from making space. Suddenly people are going to share with you. It's an incredible thing. And so many, if you do this appropriately and well, and again, yes, you are going to not literally say, you're literally not going to say content words, but you're going to say and and yes, but still, that's part of the hearing. It becomes therapy for people. And I do know of massage therapists who do this with this as a deliberate focus. And of course, their clients seek them out for this because that's what they want to do, Anyway, it's all in there. So I don't want to go too much on what hearing and helping is, because I'd rather go through it as it goes through the program, so we get into the detail, because now we're kind of jumping and skipping all over the show a little bit. So let's just say it's very, very fun and exciting.
If you need any bodies for your practicing on the massage,
you gotta volunteer.
Kevin, get off the table. Get off the table. Slut. They call them table sluts for a reason. Yeah. Too funny.
Yeah,
Good for
but
you.
careful what you wish for. I heard somewhere on the grapevine, it's Robin's iron thumbs painter. So,
I don't want to have iron thumbs.
you get some masseuses that, oh
Oh,
man, they
yeah.
boy, they get like tortured things.
That's so inappropriate. Yeah. No, I
Yeah,
hear you.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But there are some people who again like that. They want to be tortured. So
Yeah. Well,
go
good for
figure.
them.
Go figure.
That's
Yeah.
go see somebody else, as I say. What I say. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, once upon a long time ago, I lived with somebody who had a practice in home, and people would come to the home. So this was where the therapy thing also came.
Hmm.
So it's not, I'm familiar a little bit with the details of this somewhat. So yeah, very
Hmm.
interesting, very interesting. But the key is that hearing. When you combine hearing with your massage, oh, it's
Yeah.
something else, something else. All right, so uh, did you have follow on from the tasks and exercises from last time that we were still doing? I think
Well,
the one thing that I didn't hear
well,
was
that's where I had asked you if
before and after a little bit.
I don't know, because I had said that I had done it, but I don't know if it's exactly what you were looking for. So the list of life-changing conception. I mean, because then I went through. I think I actually wound up through everything that I had shared.
Yeah, we did those. The thing that I was still curious about was Robin before and Robin after. Or unless you did those and I just don't remember.
Well, I think I did them.
Oh,
So I
okay.
mean, if you
Okay.
want me to
All right.
read through it again,
No, no, it's okay. It's okay if we did it. It's just that it's not for me to hear it. It is just I'm keen for you to be aware of the difference.
yeah. Well, yes,
This is
I'm
important.
very
Okay.
keenly
All right.
aware of the
All
difference
right.
as I went through.
See what the way you said it. Wow. Wow. I can't imitate how you said it, but see, I mean, there was a profoundness to that, and that's important. That realization, and yeah, the key is I'm not looking for this to say, oh, the program was effective. No, the key of why I'm after this for you is so that you internally can say, wow, I really, really, really have changed. Yes, you can honestly say that without any reservation, right, Robin?
Absolutely.
Right. Now,
Absolutely. It's just that it's a continual practice because, as I had
exactly,
mentioned, through this experience
exactly,
that I'm going through at the moment,
exactly,
as I had shared with the immersion bubbles, I mean, how much that's where I am very aware of that this is a
exactly,
lifelong.
exactly, exactly. Implications. Implication number one, that change needs to be maintained. Capital M, maintained. Yes?
Hmm.
Right. So our profound change needs to be maintained. Capital M, maintained. Maintenance is part of practice and it's a big deal. Another reason to do the hearing and helping program, because this is going to be that maintenance as well. Every single session, we're of course going to be reconfirming everything in way of impeccability. All of that, you're constantly using all those tools. So it's maintenance, maintenance, practice, 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 implementation, um, incorporation, assimilation, all of that constantly. Then also,
Where'd you go, Sil?
I'm here, it's waiting
Oh,
for Robin on the notes.
oh.
Yeah, I was just writing down practice, implementation, assimilation.
Incorporation, right, right, right. So that's implication number one. This is an implication from this fact that you have profoundly changed. Implication number one. Implication number two. Now that you know you have changed conclusively, thoroughly, profoundly, radically, that means you can continue to change. Yes?
Yes.
Change is no longer a maybe. It's not a doubt. It's now a definite. It is something that, well, duh, of course I can change. Duh, duh, duh. Change is a duh. Implication number two, right?
Yes.
Thirdly, it also means because you have changed, you can change, means you will change. So when you see your nincompoopy, just say, chill, chill, chill. It'll change. We're working on it. Chill. Don't worry, it's changing. It will change. Because I can change. Why can I change? Because I have changed. The three go together and they leverage your inner bureaucrats because they're a little bit resistant to change. Change is scary for them, right? But now you can say, look, we have changed. Did the world end? No. See? Maintaining that change, is this a big deal? No. Is change the end of the world? No. Is it a big deal? No. Even though it's profound, not the end of the world. It means we will change, right? So you set yourself up, and the future now becomes a future of promise. Yes, a profound, sublime, magical promise. Just keep doing what you're doing, and you're going to be living in a world where change is a joy. It's ongoing. It's a magical adventure rather than something to be feared.
Well, you just mentioned a word that, as we know, talk about a lot and means a lot to me now. And I just had an aha, and that was nincompoopery. And I just made the association of nincompoopery with a crappy mood is just that nincompoopery, and it just made it lighter. It just changed it again. It transformed it into a
Exactly.
positive.
Yes, yes, yes. Exactly, exactly, exactly. Moreness, 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 moreness.
Because I was taking a lot of my nincompoopery as those silliness, but it could also be that crappiness, which is silliness, because that's exactly what it is, silliness.
Exactly, exactly,
So
exactly.
that was really interesting. Yes, I like that
Very exciting.
association.
Right? And the shift into our future being an exploration into how
Yeah.
cool is that? In the underlying mindset, which is why that exercise is so profoundly important. Big deal, big deal. But you can email me the list of the before and after.
Okay.
I'll do it like with Sue. I'll put it. I'll use it as a testimonial. It's very useful. So yeah, you want to see what happens when people say, "Here we go, before, after." Don't take my word for it. Listen to Sue. Listen to Robert. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I truly would like to see that book that we teased you about. By the way, Sue. I know it's a big project, and you have to have the motivation to do it. But what a story it would be, and yours too, Robert.
Mm-hmm.
What a story it is. I mean, it is the story of real stuff. To me, this is what's important. This is what matters. Look at everybody in the group that we have there. That's what they're asking for in all of the posts. They want to know how, they want the details, they want to see how somebody else learns. How do you deal with this? When you share your story of your personal growth, this is what I was thinking. This is what I was doing. This were my habits. And then I learned this and then I figured this out and then I shifted it. That's the real story of any story. That's it. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
You put in the fun stuff like, the teas and that. They just a little bit of dressing to put that in. But so you put it in a story form. Okay, I started and I did this and was involved in the program and at this time was this going on in my life and that. Okay, but that's just your story stuff but the real story, capital S story, is the story of your profound learning and growth and change. This is a magical story. This is a magical story. So again, yeah, I don't want to press on it, but I'm just saying a story I'd love to read. Actually, part of the Monas project at some point when we get there is the young man's story or the young man's story, really, um, because it's a story of learning and growth and awareness and figuring stuff out and being a knucklehead and being an nincompoop and all that stuff. Just yeah. Anyway, it's fun stuff. All right, brilliant. Anything more in terms of any of all the stuff from the session? Did we go through and do all the tasks? I don't remember now. Let's go and see. Let's
I
go.
believe we did, but if I'm wrong, just let me know. But I believe we did because we got towards the end where it was just going over. And we
Well,
got pretty
yeah.
far. We got pretty far. So I'll
Okay.
can write this down and email it to you. So
Please, the before and after. Yeah, I'm keen for that. And you might as well send those list of conceptions too, but I think you already did that. But anyway, just send it. That's fine. Okay, yeah. Lastly, make your list of moment-to-moment doings of a spirit warrior. You did this too. Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Okay. Sue's picture. Yeah, these are all just what it is. Yeah. End session 4. Your ongoing task application. So there was one task.
You have to keep on.
Practice another task. It's a joy. It's a joy. Right. So I take time to celebrate your accomplishment of self. Okay.
Oh, that's
So
the only thing I still haven't done is doing my celebration of myself.
That's right. That's right. I will send you an email. What is today?
That's right. Tell everybody I'm going to celebrate me.
Yeah. So when we're done with Sue and then just last, so later today, I'll be sending you an email that is pertinent to your celebration email.
Okay.
We'll see.
That'll be my next task. That'll be my task for aside from starting is the celebration.
Yeah, your celebration. Yes. Very important. Very important. Very important. All right. Perfect timing, actually, also. So let's go over that feeling we believe. Yeah. So maybe pull your notes up too, Robin, and we kind of do it, and just come in and add in and comment and connect as appropriate. So brilliant. All right, so let's hear.
Okay. So what I did was I broke down each paragraph like it was a slide.
Excellent.
So the repeat back on the first paragraph is the moreness behind this is 1. We have a tendency to believe our beliefs, which end up as our feelings. Secondly, or we have the opportunity of how we feel, we think is based on our beliefs. But contrary, what can also be true is a third option is we can believe what we believe because of how we feel. So my takeaway is for me to see the moreness here in this one, I broke it down. So the first one was we have a tendency to believe our beliefs, which end up as our feelings. For me, I believe that love is wonderful and powerful. So that makes me happy. Again, that's my belief.
That's a good belief. Yeah.
Right. The second one is how we feel is based on our beliefs. So for me, if I am to be happy, I must have or be loved. Again, that's my
problem,
right? So, but then like it talks about the contrary being true. We can believe what we believe because of how we feel. So I feel love from my heart. So therefore, I have and have experienced love in my mind. So again, that's just for me conceptually, how I interpreted the breakdown of those.
Wow. Can I pause you a second there, Sue? I'm keen to get Robin's, just any input that comes from you on this here, Robin. On Sue's beliefs. When we look at what Sue said from the outside, thinking of this feeling, believing relationship, and we hear what Sue said about the beliefs there, it's like, what comes for you?
I can relate. I never broke it down as Sue broke it down, but I understand what she's saying. I can understand that feeling. Yes. I guess I can relate would be the word.
Right. The key question becomes, Sue, I'm assuming that's where you're heading now, is to say, as sensible as those beliefs might seem, when we look at them a little bit closer, there's like, well, it's a nice setup here. This is a nice setup here. Oh, it sounds all very rosy, but wait for that great big smack here coming.
Exactly. And I thought, oh my God, when you put them down in writing, oh, I believe love is wonderful and powerful, so that makes me happy. Bullshit. That's not just the thing, the only thing that makes me happy. You know, you really start questioning those beliefs and where the hell did that come from? You know, what TV show or person or situation told me that, you know, and so everything that I wrote down, I mean, it just came off the top of my head. I'm like, really, Sue? Based on what? Based on what? Then you really see how feelings and beliefs are
exactly
just that. They're just that.
Exactly. And it slipped out there. You said, oh, but the love, and I feel love, and that I need to be loved in order to be happy. The inverse case.
Crazy.
And
exactly.
This was the flaw.
Yeah.
Wow. You know, it's the first part is okay, you know, loving, not too much. But when the implication from that comes that it works the other way, no. I do not need to be loved to be happy.
That's right.
Interestingly enough, if you really listen to Cher and her story, this is still something that particular belief still presses very heavily on Cher.
Mm-hmm.
Very heavily.
Very, very heavily.
Yeah.
Because it was
Big
distorted.
Deal. Exactly. But we can see how through this there is a path as you're going to now, as you go, and you also, Robin, as you guys showed, that wait a second, we can change the beliefs and change how we feel. Mm-hmm. Right? That neediness that she feels, she can change that belief.
So can I, because this is a learning experience for me.
Oh yeah.
Sil, you were able to pull out, again, and I know this is from the hearing, you were able to pull out so much more. And then Sue, I mentioned that I can relate, but what was also fascinating to me was how you're able to pull one concept and work with that. Mm-hmm. And sometimes, which was fascinating to me as far as for me to pause and take a concept, because I tend to have them all. It's almost as if they're all there. So it was really, so this is really new to me.
That's where I struggled the most, Robin. When someone that I thought I needed to understand something, it was so big of a topic that the only way for me to even begin to understand it, let alone respond to it, was breaking it down. And this course, I did this early on because they get intense, like tasks, like Sil, you know, go on and on and on in a task, and you'll see that in Hearing and Helping. And it's a lot of stuff. I can't possibly take all that what he said and make a statement. So I am a big breaker downer, you know, that's all I do. Every time there's a question or a comment, I break it down and then I look at it. So for me, that helps me understand it much better.
It's an intent in the tasks and exercises. This is a deliberate thing that we are trying to do, is to get your brain to go into that immersion. Because when your brain basically, you know, you've got a kind of a thick stem, and it sort of splinters out into all those little fragments and starts exploring on those multiple levels. This is what we want, because this is like the roots going into the ground and they're spreading out under there. You're grabbing the whole earth, and this is what we want. And through that immersion, the brain nodes go crazy. It's about rewiring your brain. So yeah, it's very potent to do that, breaking it up into the pieces and going through each one of them. It's very, very potent. You
Yeah.
get involved, you get immersed. Ah, this is very potent.
That's
Very
why
cool.
no matter pretty much, Robin, no matter what I read, especially reading, because I can stop, I don't just keep going through it and going through it and hope I catch something. And again, it depends on what you're reading. I read a lot of
Wow,
informational stuff. So
wow,
I'm like,
wow,
wow, okay, I really need to understand that. Stop
wow,
right here.
wow,
Instead of, Susie fast pace,
Yeah.
and get
wow,
through to the end there.
wow,
It taught me to
wow,
break it down because otherwise my brain was
wow,
all over the place. I couldn't pull it down to make a comment or to make a response because there was too much in it. That's why that little process of just I break down every sentence if I have to. I
right.
do.
So yeah. So also keep in mind that Sue is Sue,
Yeah, correct.
Right.
Correct.
and Sue's brain is, well, it's Sue's
Yeah.
brain. Well, let's just leave it there and not go any further, right?
No, but
But
again,
again,
but you were able to pull out
right,
so much from what she had said, so that
right,
when you put it, said, okay, so now Robin, and and I
yeah,
guess this is still the beginning and the practicing of deer in headlights,
exactly,
and I
exactly,
heard a lot,
exactly,
but you were able to
exactly,
pull out these.
exactly. Just I'm a bit of an anomaly in something, so just treat
Yeah.
it as that.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
It's
We
just be
can't
patient.
compare ourselves to anything. Yeah.
Just a lunatic. Just a lunatic. What can I tell you?
There's the
I really am.
female.
I'm anomalous in
Yeah.
something.
He's the male anomalous. She's the female anomalous.
Exactly.
That shall never
Exactly.
be
But
duplicated. Yeah.
so what I was getting at though is Tuesdays and Thursdays. Tuesdays and Thursdays we have three people. I know Janelle and Orion and Kay and Erica. So if ever you have a Tuesday or a Thursday free, that's time to come and hear others. And this is very powerful because you are going to see, you're used to hearing our Sue's doing it, and to some extent Beena maybe also a little bit Donna here and there. But when you start to sit in on a whole session and you hear Janelle or Kay or Erica, and again all of them are very different ways of doing it, different places in the thing, you're going to hear just a whole different thing. And you're going to have just those three extra perspectives, and with just like two, that's four. It will give you a completely different world of comprehension, and you're going to see if you've only really got Sue now to compare with, and you really don't compare. You are you, but it's useful to see how others do this because we always learn and say, that's
Sure.
useful. But not everything resonates with your brain because
Mhm.
our brains are all different. So you got to customize to your
Sure.
style, how you do it. Very, very, very important, Robin. Just do it
Mhm.
your way. Do it your way.
Mhm.
Okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
And for the
You're
record,
magical. So
Robin,
trust.
I've pulled things away from your sessions to do
Oh
things
yeah.
differently, to do things better. I pulled things from Erica
Oh yeah.
and
Oh,
Kay's things. So it
oh,
really, it's the exposure, and then you
yeah.
choose.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
multiple
Yeah.
perspectives, and then you choose what works for you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
You
the
you've
next.
been a real breath of fresh air for us, Robin. We were
Absolutely.
like, man, I want to be doing this program the way Robin does it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really,
Absolutely.
Robin, that's huge. The way you do your insistence on application, your insistence on habit changing, and your immersion into the program. This is a very big deal, Robin. It's a very big deal. So you just keep doing what you're doing. That's it. No worries. Just keep doing.
Yep.
And there's no pace on these things. We cannot ever, ever make any assessments of pace because it's not an equivalence, because some people will first lay the groundwork, right? Let's take an equivalent of building a palace, right? I mean, yes, we all kind of have a foundation, but some then will say, okay, I'm going to put in the gardens, I'm going to clear the surrounding area, whatever. And some will say, okay, I'm going to do, put the walls up and then start decorating, and the roof can come later. I don't know, everybody builds differently. So I'm just saying, there's no one way to build your house. People do it differently. Some will come to the conclusion, work backwards. Some lay the foundation, some first flesh it out, some go down side paths, side tangents, but in the end, they all get to the same place in the end. No matter,
Mhm.
no matter. So just trust your process. Keep going, keep going, keep going. There's a
Mhm.
lot, so it takes a
Yeah.
while for it to filter in.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Just have fun, right?
Mhm. Absolutely. So the next paragraph, my repeat back is, because of the way we come to feel something, which comes from what is created or adopted from our beliefs, which then therefore supports our feelings, no matter how they ended up getting there. Once they're in place, whether it be a feeling or a belief, because it works both ways, it now becomes a reinforcing and becomes self-justifying. When we add on to these beliefs, it just supports the feeling even more because we connect that feeling with reality that substantiates that belief and vice versa. So my takeaway from that is,
Can I pause
for,
you 1 second?
sure.
Didn't Sue just nicely there explain what bubble immersion is?
Mhm.
She just gave us an inside view of what's going on in the psychology when they're inside a bubble,
Mhm.
how they keep feeding it back to themselves. The feeling reinforces the belief reinforces the feeling, and it's like, you start spinning and you create this little world. And in the end, it's very solid and firm to you because, well, the one proves the other. It's like, but you never
Mhm.
look at the third options or fourth options. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
Robin, anything before Sue does the takeaway there?
No, I'm
Yeah.
listening
Oh,
and
keep going, Sue. Keep going. Keep going.
So my takeaway is,
Love
for
it.
me, regardless of how my feelings came about, I will create or adopt my beliefs around them. It does not matter if the feeling or the belief came first. Once they are there, they get self justified and reinforced. The more we build on those beliefs, that it just reinforces it even more because we are now connected to that belief that is substantiated by belief and vice versa. So here's where I started bringing in examples, and it ended up kind of being a theme about my mother and my
Nice,
relationship
nice,
with
nice, 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 Sue, nice, brilliant.
her. So my example was, I used to be sad because I could never get acceptance for who I was from my mother. Because of my belief that she had a very emotionally difficult upbringing from her mother and father's situations and from her actions and lifestyles. All of this was continued to be reinforced as time went on, no matter what happened in her life. I was always giving her a green light, really. Her tragedies were my sadness, and they had been very deeply connected. So again, they were just what I thought. I didn't live my mother's life,
Wow.
but I believed what I believed because, or felt what I felt because I believed, oh, her life was pretty broken. Both parents committed suicide. One was successful. One was, she was very strict and when she was being brought up. So there was her rebellion. Well, it's no wonder she doesn't understand me, and that made me sad. So again, I just fed, and it wasn't until doing this exercise that it really brought that to light of how much I reinforced our not so terrific relationship through my
Yeah,
home.
yeah, 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 yeah,
And I did it.
yeah,
I did it.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Very peculiar sort of a non-dependency almost.
yes. Yes.
I don't want to call it a codependency, so I call it a non-dependency. It's connected, but
Yeah.
in an inverse way, kind of a
Hmm.
twisted inverse way, but still connected, right? And the key, the
Exactly.
connection here is the misbelief that
Yeah.
connects.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. And whether
Amazing,
it was a
amazing.
belief or a misbelief, it's still a belief.
Exactly, 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 exactly. And it results in feeling.
Yeah. Hmm.
That's the key.
Yeah, it
That
just let me
particular
feel
belief,
lonely
whatever
and
it is.
sad.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, because
yeah,
she couldn't connect. She could not connect with me,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
and I
yeah,
couldn't. So I justified that
yeah,
misconnection because of, wow, she went through a
yeah,
lot and
yeah,
this,
yeah.
that, she had
Uh,
5 kids. No wonder she couldn't pay attention to all of us, whatever.
Robert,
But
yeah. Robin, do you hear should? Do you hear should somewhere there, right? In other words, you hear that Sue was feeling in particular ways because of some should. It's implied in what she's saying. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
You see? I should feel this way because my mom was late and this and that. So I should feel this way. I should feel this way. I should feel that way. But should. Says who? They're just beliefs. Beliefs aren't facts.
right, you shouldn't should
That's
yourself.
the bottom line in all of this. When we break it right down to the bottom, we say, yeah, but these are all just beliefs. They're not facts. If it's a belief, can be changed because it's a belief. I don't have to believe it. I choose. Any belief is a choice. So choose to believe something else. It changes your feelings. Very simple, really.
Hmm. Hmm. The next paragraph, my repeat back is, depending on the day, all of those feelings could change, and you could feel completely different and even believe differently. Our reality is flexible and fluid, so your perceptions related to your feelings or your beliefs then take on the job to support them. So as you kind of navigate through and blah blah blah, you just keep riding that wave, is what I heard in there. So my takeaway
Mm.
here is, for me, depending on the day and the situation, all my beliefs about how I feel about my sadness connected to my mother can change in a heartbeat. It was so true. One day I am sad about my relationship with my mom because it doesn't exist for the most part. And I believe it is due to her upbringing and conditioning. And then another day or even a minute goes by and I feel happy because she noticed me or appreciated me. And then I do anything to support that new feeling. So it doesn't matter what that feeling is, positive or negative, the way I understood it or took it. You just keep feeding it, whether it's a good monster or a bad monster. We have a tendency to just feed it or reinforce it, you know. And I could see, oh my God, yeah, but there were moments. Oh, I was so grateful for my mom and saw her goodness and her kindness to other people. Wow, So then all of a sudden I was, I'm good, I'm happy, you know. And then in its nanosecond that would change because I didn't get what I needed and I felt sad, So I just kept reinforcing it, by saying, well, she doesn't get it and she's a troubled soul, or whatever words I used. Yeah. So, but I know differently now, but it was very, very fascinating to see how this has played out in my life. And I got to put it on paper. It was pretty amazing. Pretty amazing.
Very, 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 very cool. I'm getting Beena withdrawals. Getting
Ah,
Beena withdrawals.
how you doing, B?
Right? Right? It's just me. I need to hear from you, Beena. What do you have to say? Please share with us what you're feeling and saying, Beena.
Oh, yeah.
Beena, you there? She may have been called away.
Yeah. Yeah.
While we wait for Beena, I'm just keen to hear your perspectives on this, Beena. This relationship between feeling and believing. And the magic thing is, like you said, what I heard there, I hear you saying that my feelings would change kind of at a moment's notice.
Mm-hmm.
Did
Mm-hmm.
the actuality of you and your mom and your relationship change? No, it stayed the same throughout. But
Right.
your feelings were this yo-yo going all over the show.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Basically, end of the day, if we're not in charge of our feelings and we keep associating them to beliefs in this way that are coming from outside of us, not our choice, well, we're just on a yo-yo. Well, we
Sure.
can choose. It's up to us. They don't have to be the way we think they are. There's no prescribed way we have to feel about things. We can feel any way we like,
Mm-hmm.
any way we
Mm-hmm.
like.
Mm-hmm.
That's the implication that's coming out of all this. The profound, profound, profound implication, right? I get to choose how I feel. There's
Right.
nothing at all that prescribes that how I need to feel. Nothing. Not one single thing that says you have to feel this way. No,
Mhm.
don't. I don't.
She must be away, so I'll go on to the next paragraph.
Yeah, no
What
problem. Yeah, yeah.
what really matters is the entrenched, deep habitual feelings that have deeply layered and supporting beliefs behind them, which makes them so convincing. While in convincing mode, you continue to do what is necessary to support and keep that feeling in its place, regardless of the fact that it is not a fact, never was, and really never was, and really only is seen as a self reinforcing habit.
Exactly.
So, my
Exactly.
takeaway is for me, being so entrenched in my internal sadness that, again, I never really wanted to show to people. I just have been building upon the belief of why things were the way they were between my mom and I. For example, her
Yeah.
depression, her anxiety, her lack of knowledge, her lack of self-love and self-appreciation, etc. The fact of the matter is that these are not really the facts and never were. They're just my beliefs that I self-reinforced to keep that feeling of sadness and loneliness alive. So,
Bloody hell.
yeah,
I mean, bloody hell is the only thing you can say there, right?
yeah, 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 yeah. It was really, really eye-opening. It is that aha moment when you can kind of see that whole life and how it played out, and now make sense of it psychologically. To me, that's brilliant. That's brilliant for me. That's brilliant. Yeah.
And so what you just shared there, for me, what I just received is more of what an immersion bubble is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the king of them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. This is like a lifetime long immersion bubble that's been forced on us, that we just assimilated, that we've been conditioned to believe that just it's just habit, that it wasn't even an intentional thing. It's just happenstance, just the way things are. But we can break out of it. We can break free from it.
Yeah.
We can.
And again, I never gave myself the choices. That's what was missing. The choice of choosing what attitude, what feeling or belief, whatever I had consciously. I just fed into a single solitary situation. And then it just kind of built and built and built from there. It really did. Yeah. The next
Very
par-
powerful.
the next paragraph for PPAC is: we think we need to justify a feeling in some way, but we really do not. Instead, we can choose to feel how we want to feel at any given moment. Well, I just walked into that one. Okay. We can also choose to feel how we want to feel solely as an act of will.
Exactly.
Which we can choose to make that feeling a habit and default via another sustained act of will. So my takeaway for this is, for me, I never really needed to justify any of my feelings. Instead, I just needed to choose how I wanted to feel and take those feelings straight to the bank
Ah,
and deposit them in my own personal account
exactly.
because I
Exactly.
chose to do it. For example,
Exactly.
I never needed to justify my sadness about my relationship with my mother. Instead, I have now chosen to actually respect my mother for all the things life has brought to her, and none of
Wow.
them no longer need to affect me negatively.
Yes.
In,
Yes. Yes.
instead,
Yes.
I now choose to be appropriately happy and accepting of the truth of our relationship, which is a really, really different perspective perspective
Yes.
than
Yes. It's
being
amazing. Yeah.
caught in, oh, I'm sad and lonely. She doesn't have time for me. She doesn't understand me.
Why?
Oh, boo-hoo. And once you recognize that there's no validity to that, their
Exactly.
beliefs, their feelings,
It's a should. It's a should.
it's
It's
a
a
should.
should.
There you go.
It's a should.
Should,
And
should
yeah,
yourself once again.
shouldn't should on yourself. Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
So the next, it's a small paragraph. The next one was, once the awareness and realization about feelings and beliefs are made and understood, it can change the world, and we can then become the ones who change our world. So my takeaway on that is, for me, all it takes is the understanding, the awareness, and the discernment about feelings and beliefs. From that point, I can see how the world changes, and I can be one who helps change the world. For example,
Yeah.
my world changed since I let go of these beliefs and feelings connected to the sadness and acceptance in regards to my relationship with my mother. The world looks really different to me now, and it truly does, because it is different, and I am part of that difference.
Yeah.
I chose it. So otherwise I could have just stayed in that little immersion bubble once again. Nope. Want it out. I want it out of it. Yeah.
Brilliant. Oh, excuse me. Yeah. Very powerful. Very, very beautiful. Powerful.
The next paragraph, repeat back, is, there is so much more to us than our feelings and our belief. There is our character. Once character is understood, that is our core identity belonging to us, we can see how feelings and beliefs exist outside of our character. What is inside of us is how we question self. Self is the heart of the matter when it comes to the world. Feelings and beliefs just service our character, not the other way around, which is a very common mistake to make. Once you realize how these two are created, it enables us to avoid any pitfalls connected to a fragile or insubstantial character. This is kind of the really coming to the end, to come to Jesus kind of moment here, and realizing what really matters and what really is the foundation for me, and that's the character. So my takeaway is, we can leave our feelings and beliefs at the door. What needs to come inside and stay inside is my character. Understanding that my character is my core identity, I can then understand how feelings and beliefs are only outside vendors who service my character. A point that needs tremendous understanding. This understanding will allow me to avoid any pitfalls because of the association with a fragile or insubstantial part of my character. So my example here is, my character is strong, it's solid, it's impeccable, it's full of awareness and self-honesty and self-respect and self-appreciation, etc. My beliefs and feelings are not being enough or needing appreciation or acceptance from others. They're just beliefs and feelings that we're trying to service and undermine all the goodness that my true character possesses. Knowing that these feelings and beliefs were directly associated with my once before fragile self, I now can stand in a place of my true character instead of these unsubstantiated falsehoods. This is truly life transforming.
Yeah. 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 You get to choose.
Yeah, we get to choose 100%.
Get to choose. Get to choose how you feel.
So the very last thing was Beena's, I'll read the quote and then I'll give you my takeaway on it. Our character is a reflection of our deliberate choices. Either we choose to believe in any idea without thinking it through to the end, or we make impeccable choices. Every choice we make is the building block of our character. So profound. My takeaway is when I am deliberate in my awareness, in my choices, in my thinking things through to the end, I can make nothing short of impeccable decisions. And that is what forms my character. This is not a choice that I have made. This is not choice that I have made that has not formed my character in some way or another. Good or bad, the choices were always impeccable. And that's what builds my character. Yeah, there's not been a
Ah,
choice
ah,
that I
ah.
have made there. That I should say there has
Yeah,
not been
yeah,
a
yeah. There you go. There you go. Yeah,
not, but yeah.
that's it. Again, choice. Not just choice of what we feel, but choice of who we are. Choice of what we build ourselves with.
Yeah.
Right? Those choices, when we make them outside of feeling or belief, now we get real stuff that has its
Right.
own self-substantiating merit. Right?
Right.
They self-substantiating sensibilities, self-proving sensibilities,
Yeah. And I mean, I put it
self-evident.
down good or bad, but sometimes we make inappropriate choices and
Oh,
sometimes we
sure.
make
Sure.
appropriate choices. But either way, they weren't or not going to
Exactly.
be influenced solely by feelings and beliefs. Um,
Exactly.
and that's what makes them either way, good, bad, indifferent, appropriate, inappropriate. They were impeccable because I did the best that I could at the time. So I made a mistake,
Exactly.
big deal. But the
Exactly.
impeccability
Exactly.
is part of my character that
It's the
is my
key.
foundation.
Exactly. Exactly. So
Yeah.
we clearly see, to bring this all into a whole one big massive magical thing, we are clearly demonstrating it's all choice. Our
Mhm.
feelings, our character, everything comes down to choice. So the issue becomes, how do we choose? Since we know we're nincompoops and we know we're going to make mistakes, this is exactly why we come to way of impeccability. It is a mechanism that enables us to make choices, good or bad, and be okay with it.
Mhm.
It is the safety valve that says, I know I'm going to make mistakes.
Right.
I can't help it because I don't have perfect information. But I'm going to, because I'm going to be impeccable, I'm going to ameliorate the effects of those bad mistakes, those mistakes. So they aren't really bad. I'm going to reduce my risk to a minimum. And because I'm impeccable, even if it turns out to be really bad, at least I'll be able to live with my mistakes and live with my choices because I was impeccable. So it gives us a mechanism for dealing with choice, because choice is the key. Choice is awareness. If we don't have a mechanism of how to choose appropriately and sensibly and effectively and strategically, then we just lost. Then you just going to, at some point, you're going to make a choice that doesn't work out, and then there goes your life. Not for us, because we are choosing impeccability.
Mhm.
Changes everything. It's why the program is called Way of Impeccability, not way of appropriateness or way of awareness, way of attunement, way of attention, way of application, or 100 other ways. Way of impeccability. Because
Mhm.
the key of the universe, nature, life, everything, it's about choice, 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 choice. If we don't have that ability to choose in this particular manner that sets us free once we make a choice, and forget it. Yeah. Plus, your thoroughness, your scrupulousness is not just doing it in accordance to your conscience. I mean, yes, you're satisfying your conscience, but the way you satisfy your conscience, of course, you are increasing your chances of making a more sensible decision and minimizing a foolish decision.
Mhm.
There you go.
Yeah.
We are maximizing our ability to choose
Yeah.
and
And
minimizing our
this,
ability to choose badly.
yeah. And this too, Sil, it was, it ended up being proof, self-proof, once again, of the program. And
Yeah,
it just came to me now, the
yeah,
self-proof
yeah.
of how innately this stuff has come into me and has shifted me,
Yeah.
because since during this process of this program, the relationship I now have with my mother is night and day.
Wow, Sue. Wow.
Because I'm no
Wow.
longer bothered or sad internally because of her stuff. No, you know, I'm going to make the choice of, you know, this is my mother, respecting her and whatever appropriately, you know, not respecting her for doing, you know, inappropriate things, but appropriate respect. She doesn't get under my skin. I used to like, oh my God. And then the binge eating would happen, or if anytime I was in her presence, and then I come home, or it used to be trigger, it would be at the house that we used to live in. And I never, ever put any of that crap together until this program. But this here just kind of, for me, just kind of brought it all together and said, wow, Sue, here's the self-proof that you have taken in a tremendous amount innately into your system, and are processing it appropriately, because my relationship has changed. And I never had a conversation with my mother that said, oh, now here's the rules, you know, blah, 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 we're changing this. No, it does itself on its own. It did itself on its own, because I shifted, appropriately.
Exactly. You shifted. You choose.
Mm-hmm.
You claimed yourself. You claimed yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Or you have been claiming yourself since we started.
Sure.
Yeah. Just one more. Very magical. Very magical. Robin's deep in thought. What do you think, philosopher Robin?
I it's fascinating to me because listening in on now versus me actually doing it, I'm getting even more awareness to certain words, feelings. The one thing when you were speaking, Sue, that I just made a run on was the beliefs, the feelings, the beliefs, and they all equal choice.
Mm-hmm.
And then the deliberateness, impeccability, deliberateness equals impeccability equals choice. And this word choice really resonated in regards to feeling. And when making that choice that feels good, oh, so good. Wow, the difference between a choice of feeling good and a choice of feeling bad, but it's if the choice feels bad, simple that is, but how it's not so simple to do because of the feeling and then the belief. Circle of clockwise and
Exactly. Just jump right out. Very cool.
Like anything, there's ways to
yes,
get out. Whoa, where the hell am I? What, you know, that famous line still always says, ask yourself, what am I doing? Why am I here? What am I doing?
I like that awareness of recognition.
Power pauser, you know, to stop and redirect. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Very cool. Very, very, very cool. Yeah.
And Sue, you also mentioned about character.
Mm-hmm.
And this is really interesting, Sil, because that was definitely when I was reading this about the beliefs, the feelings, the beliefs, but then you brought character into it. And whoa, that was like a gut punch, because it was, wow.
Again, when you grab hold of that foundation, because that is our foundation, you know, our traits, our personality is something very, very different. But that character is something that doesn't change. And once you, for me, once I understood, whoa, this is way bigger. And these feelings and belief are servicing that character. And I can choose whether I want to keep that vendor or not keep that vendor, and get rid of them, and think of them as that. But that foundation, whether it's your ethical foundation, your ethical character, your impeccability, your deliberateness, whatever, that's the stuff that is strong and powerful and needs to be known, and that you need to get in touch with. Yeah. Cracks in that foundation, then you got cracks going on. Obvious cracks going on other places in your life. Yeah, character's a big deal.
Yeah.
It's huge. I mean, that's everything we're doing in impeccability.
Absolutely.
Is about character. Very, very, very cool. Very, very cool.
Thank you
If
so
you
much
look
for
at your,
sharing.
You're welcome.
oh
You're
yes,
welcome.
yes, Robin, real quick. If you look at your notes, anything changed for you on your marvelous takeaway and all the things that you did on this article, this perspective?
Well, definitely. So, as Sue was sharing, even though some of these may have looked similar, they're more to me now because the what I had written down was I can choose how I feel at any moment. We've talked about this so many times, but there's always more. What it also brought up for me in the beginning was in regards to, now I brought the Kundalini in, and for what I know, like the positive, negative, and neutral mind of not getting stuck in that immersion bubble and not going to that positive, negative, but staying right where it is, and justification versus choice. Um, Character belongs to me, and then definitely that feeling and belief outside of me, that um, feelings and beliefs are just servicing our character. That stuck with me.
Yeah.
Um, and also choice builds my character.
Mm-hmm. Sure it does.
So
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And look at today.
Yeah. Now.
Yeah, look at that conversation. Let's go back to that center column and that focus of what you talked about in the beginning today of, having all this stuff and explaining it. Yes, your character says that, there is your honesty and there is your deliberateness, and that you're trying to think things through to the end. That was all about your character first thing this morning. And now we've just, kind of cemented that in a little bit more. So those feelings and those beliefs, they're really not what they're cracked up to be.
and understanding the difference,
Yes.
not knowing that before, and now understanding, the difference between feelings, beliefs, character, choice. It's
Mm-hmm.
being able to understand the difference. May not always happen because of habit, um, but definitely something to sit with, pause on, and learn from,
Mm-hmm.
and practice.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
And then we see that we can get a different loop instead of the feeling belief loop. We can get a choice character awareness loop.
There you go.
Much better loop, yeah.
Yeah. How is, instead of how's this affecting my feelings, or how does this affect my belief in God, or whatever the hell the feeling is, say, how does this affect my character? Wow, that's a way.
That's more.
And how does this affect my awareness? How does it affect my growth?
Exactly. Yeah. Again, the choices of what we perspect on is massive, or what we relate to. Yeah.
And then we ask too, right? We get back to impeccability. Always we get back to impeccability. And then the question becomes, do I want to invest my energy in this choice?
Yeah.
Not spend my energy, but
Yes.
invest my energy in this choice.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Effort reward, is this valuable and useful to me?
And this is why I love this.
Yes, me too.
because I get so much more out of it. I get such a different perspective.
Yeah. See, that's us up there looking into the magic of mourners, right? I'm saying you're
Because
behind me.
yes, I 100%. That is why I love this.
Yes. It's a joy. It's a joy. It's a total joy. Brilliant. Beena, are you back? I'm keen to hear from you, sweetness. If nothing else, just to say goodbye. I'm assuming you're gonna go now, right? It's time, Robin.
Yes, I am going to go now and start my day. And thank you to all of you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well,
Yes.
cool.
Pleasure,
So
pleasure, Robin.
I will work on this, and Sil, I will email you what I have, and if it needs to be improved upon or changed, let me know.
Sure,
And then I will
sure.
see
No worries.
everybody on Monday.
Monday.
Yes.
Same
Brilliant.
time, same bat
Okay.
Bye
channel.
bye, Robin. Well,
You
maybe
got it.
no, not Monday. Monday we see you before that, maybe.
Oh, right.
Maybe
Friday is
Friday
9.
and Sunday.
Be
Yeah.
gone
Friday is 9 to 11, right?
and
On both days.
both days. Yes.
Oh,
Sunday.
is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I believe so.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right.
Okay.
Enjoy.
See you, honey. Be good.
Bye.
Bye bye. Bye bye, Robin. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Oh,